The one mistake empaths make in love. That ruins everything before it even starts. And here's what makes it so dangerous. It doesn't feel like a mistake, it feels like care, it feels like hope. It feels like giving someone a real chance. But what's actually happening underneath is something your nervous system recognizes long before your mind admits it. In a moment, I'm going to name the exact mistake. But first, I need you to understand why this one costs so much. Because it's not just about picking the wrong person. It's about teaching your heart that love requires you to abandon yourself. And halfway through, I'll give you one simple question you can ask on a first date that reveals whether someone is safe for your empathy or just comfortable with it. No games, no tests. Here's the mistake empaths make that destroys their love life before it begins. Interpreting potential as presence, not seeing someone's flaws, not being too trusting. Interpreting their potential as if it's already here, as if the person they could become is the person standing in front of you right now. Listen closely. Empaths don't fall in love with who someone is. They fall in love with who someone could be if they just felt safe enough, loved enough, seen enough. And that's the trap. Because you're not dating a person. You're dating a projection. You're in a relationship with your own hope, and hope doesn't text back. Hope doesn't show up consistently. Hope doesn't take accountability. Here's what it looks like in real life. They say something dismissive, but you think they've been through a lot. Once they heal, they'll be different. They cancel plans last minute, but you think they're overwhelmed right now. When things calm down, they'll prioritize me. They can't talk about feelings, but you think, no one's ever made them feel safe before. I'll be the one who shows them it's okay. Notice what you just did. You took their limitation and made it your mission. You took their absence and called it potential. You took their pattern and renamed it a phase. And here's the cruelest part. You're not wrong about the potential. You can actually see it. That's the gift of being an empath. You see the version of them that's buried under fear, under walls, under old wounds. But seeing potential doesn't mean you should build a relationship on it. Because while you're waiting for potential to show up, you're living with what's actually present. And what's present is someone who isn't ready, someone who isn't available, someone who isn't doing the work. Here's why this mistake destroys your love life. It trains you to accept less. Every time you stay with potential instead of presence, you're teaching your nervous system a dangerous rule. Love means waiting. Love means hoping. Love means convincing someone you're worth showing up for. And once your body learns that rule, it stops recognizing real love when it arrives. Because real love doesn't require you to wait. It doesn't ask you to translate. It doesn't make you feel like a project manager for someone else's emotional growth. Now let's go deeper, because this pattern usually starts early. Many empaths grew up being the emotional translator in their family, the one who understood why mom was distant, the one who knew dad didn't mean it like that, the one who could see the love underneath the dysfunction. So you learned a skill that felt like a superpower. You learned to see beneath the surface. But here's what no one told you. That skill saved you as a child, and it's destroying you as an adult. Because as a kid, you didn't have a choice. You had to stay. You had to make sense of inconsistency to survive. But now you have a choice. And you're still using survival skills in situations that require selection skills. Here's the pattern that keeps repeating. You meet someone emotionally unavailable, and instead of seeing that as information, you see it as an invitation to prove that your love is different, an invitation to be the one who finally breaks through. But breaking through isn't intimacy, it's labor. And love should never feel like a construction project where you're the only one holding the tools. Now I promised you a question you can ask that reveals everything. Here it is. On a first date or early in knowing someone, ask them this. What's something you're actively working on changing about yourself? Then stop talking. Watch what happens. A person with presence will give you something real. They might say, I'm learning to set boundaries without guilt. They might say, I'm working on not shutting down when I'm stressed. They might say, I'm trying to be less reactive and more curious. They're not perfect, but they're aware, and awareness is the foundation of change. A person who's all potential does one of three things. They deflect. I don't really think about that stuff. They perform. Oh, I'm basically perfect now. I've done so much therapy. They reverse it. What are you working on? That question reveals whether someone is doing their own work or waiting for a relationship to do it for them. Because here's the truth that will save you years. You cannot love someone into growth. You cannot empathize someone into accountability. You cannot see someone's potential so clearly that they finally decide to become it. Growth is a choice they make, not a gift you give. And if you're the only one invested in their evolution, you're not in a relationship. You're in a rehabilitation center where you're both the therapist and the one paying for it. Now let's address the hardest part. What if you're already in this pattern right now? What if you're already 6 months in, a year in, 3 years in, waiting for potential to become presence? Here's the repair sequence, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. First, name what's actually here, not what could be. What is? Are they consistently emotionally available right now? Not on their best day, on an average Tuesday. Do they take accountability without you having to perform emotional labor to extract it? Do they show up for you the way you show up for them? Second, ask yourself one question. If nothing changed, if this exact version of them is who they are 5 years from now, would I still want this? If the answer is no, you're not in love with them. You're in love with the idea of who they'll become. And that's not a relationship. That's a hostage situation where you're holding yourself captive. Third, give yourself permission to stop translating. Stop explaining their behavior to yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop rewriting their actions into a story that feels better. If someone wants to be with you, you'll know. If someone is ready for you, you'll feel it. And if you're confused, that's your answer. Here's the micro moment that separates potential from presence. Potential says, I know I haven't been great, but I'm going to change. Presence says, I see how I hurt you. Here's what I'm doing differently starting today. One is a promise, one is a pattern shift. And empaths need to learn the difference. Because you can forgive potential 100 times, but presence is what builds a life. Now, if you're the empath listening, I want you to hear something that might sting, but it will free you. You are not responsible for unlocking someone's best self. You are not the key to their transformation. You are not the love that finally makes them ready. You are a whole person who deserves a whole person. Not a project, not a possibility. A person who shows up now, not later. And here's the boundary sentence that will protect you immediately. I'm interested in who you are, not who you could be. That's not cruelty, that's clarity. And clarity is what keeps your love life from becoming a graveyard of your own potential. Let's tie it together so it sticks. The one mistake that destroys an empath's love life is interpreting potential as presence, falling in love with who someone could be instead of who they actually are right now. Because while you're investing in their future, you're sacrificing your present. And a relationship built on potential isn't a partnership. It's a fantasy with a heartbeat.